I've been using this X30 for like an hour and already I quite like it a lot. Like for one, this thing has, I think, like almost all the FDD LTE band, so it works in basically every country. 6 gigabytes of RAM, well, we'll see about that, but it has 5 cameras, and I'm gonna show you that. It's got 5 cameras here. I don't know if they're actually gonna use 5 cameras, but we'll have to see about that. The back, okay, it's super fingerprinty now, but the back glass actually looks super duper good when it's clean, which it probably will not be for a long time. But anyway, super excited about this phone. Let's get on with the unboxing. All right, let's get this unboxing on the road. This is the X30. Comes in a pretty standard box for Cubot. And again, looking at these specs, I mean, wow, especially for 150 bucks. 6.4 inch LCD display, MTK6771, that's a Helio P60 processor. You've got 5 cameras on the back, 1 camera on the front, 6 gigabytes, 128 gigs of storage, NFC, and a 4200 milliamp hour battery. So I'm actually really excited. So let's open this box up and see what we have inside. Okay, I ate a lot, so I'm kind of full. Okay, first things first, we have the phone. We're gonna look at that last. Actually, let's look at this case first. And it's one of those crappy cases. I don't like, yeah, I don't like this case a lot. It's like the crappiest case you can get. It's rubber, it'll get dirty quick. Okay, let's put that aside. Phone aside as well. And what else do we have in here? We have a, interesting, thank you. You're welcome, very welcome. And then we have something like, warning? Oh, I see. It's basically because of airplane rules, you can't, like, they basically don't charge it up. So you got to charge it up yourself. And it says, don't take out the battery. Thank you. I won't do that. And let's see what else we have in here. We have a compliance regulation, which is, okay, it complies with EU directives. Interesting but useless. And let's see what we have in here. And so we have a USB-C cable, a charger, which is for China. China? Oh, I think it's for, yeah, it's for EU. So if you're in US, make sure they send you a US charger, and then a pin popper. Okay, so the accessories here are pretty sparse. I won't go too much more into it. Let's look at the actual phone itself. Okay, time for some plastic peeling time. Let's go. And I'm having trouble. Okay, come on. Off you go. Off you go. Ah, there we go. Yes. Plastic off. Ooh, that is a very nice. That's actually really nice. Okay, this plastic off as well. And there we go. Ooh, that is nice. Okay, first things first. Wow, look at that back glass. It's okay. Here, look. You can see the camera, and can you see my face? Yeah, there, right there. See my face? Ooh, it's so reflective. That's pretty awesome. Okay, I'm gonna stop fanboying over the back. It's glass. Yeah, there we go. It's glass. That's a huge camera bump right there. So here the X30 has 5 cameras. 5 cameras. I don't understand the point of 5 cameras, but it gives you this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a flash. But the back here, apart from the camera bump, is really plain. It's a huge camera bump, the Cubot logo, and then the really nice reflective surface. Ooh, that already fingerprints are starting to show. So I'm gonna put more fingerprints on here so you can see. Just look at that. Ooh, look at all those fingerprints. And that's like within 20 seconds of me taking the plastic off of this thing. And looking at the front, that is a pretty decent looking phone because you have your hole punch display up top. And let's look at the size of the phone now. So on the top of the phone, I actually don't know what those are. Could it be an IR blaster? I don't know. We'll have to see. And on the bottom, we have the USB-C, as well as, I don't know if both are actual functional speaker grills, or if it's only one that's a speaker grill and the other one is just fake, but it's there to be symmetrical. So we'll have to see about that. And then over here, we have a power button and a side-mounted fingerprint sensor. I think the rumors said there was gonna be an in-fingerprint sensor, but I guess that's not the case. Okay, and going over to this side, we have your volume rocker as well as the SIM tray. So yeah, you know what? Let's turn on the phone and see what we got. Okay, so I went ahead and did some setup on the phone, and I'm gonna turn it on by using the side mounted fingerprint sensor. It's not super fast. Okay, that's probably really too bright for you, so I'm going to, there we go, much better. Okay, so looks like the adaptive brightness, if it's even on, adaptive brightness is, let's turn on mobile data, because just in case I roam, that'll be really bad. Okay, yeah, so let's start looking at the phone. I signed in, and so far I'm actually liking it a lot. This is the Helio P60, and as I said before, and as I've made my feelings very clear, I'm really not a fan of Helio or MediaTek processors in general, but I have to say that either Cubot did a great job or the MediaTek processor is pretty good, or both, but the UI here is actually really smooth. So it's, you swipe left, you get your Google Now, you swipe right to any additional screens you have, and you start from the bottom to get to your app screen, and if you swipe from the bottom but kind of halfway up, you get your app switcher. And yeah, let's look at the screen first. This is I think it's a 1080p screen. Yeah, it is a 1080p screen. LCD, let's see how good it looks. All right, let's take a look at the screen. I'm gonna play the same clip I usually play. This is the Costa Rica in 4K, and it really showcases, yeah, that looks pretty good for an LCD display. I will say that the viewing angles actually are not as good as I thought, because you're looking at it straight down, right? I'm looking at it from approximately a 45-degree angle, and you can actually see that it gets kind of dim. So I'm going to do the same thing for you, actually this way. So it gets dimmer. You can't really see it that much in the camera, in the video, sorry, but in real life, it actually gets dimmer. Actually, no, you can see it. See how dim the green body is? And then if I go back here, it's actually really nice looking. So if you look at it straight on, I'm actually quite happy with this LCD, at least my first impressions on this. So really have no complaints. I mean, stuff just looks really good on this LCD. Touch sensitivity is, it's fine. It's regular phone sensitivity stuff. Ooh, look at that green. That looks really nice. That looks really nice. I will say that I've been using AMOLED for such a long time that saturated colors here, even though they look good, they're still slightly not as saturated as my AMOLED phone. You mean my Xiaomi Mi 8 that I have right here. Something like that. It's really hard for an LCD to compete with an AMOLED, but I have to say that this is doing a pretty good job. And I mean, look at that red right there on that parrot. That looks pretty good. So, yep, let's move on to the audio, because LCD is actually really good. Actually, one last thing before we do, let's turn the brightness all the way up just to see how bright it gets. And that's not super bright, I'll say that. It's not super bright because I didn't even have to change the settings on the camera that you're looking at right now. Stuff still looks like it's still visible. It's not like crazy bright. Yeah, so I'll have to see how well it performs outside. All right, let's do this. Let's listen to some music, adventures, and I'll tell you when the bass drop starts. It's... I mean, there is some bass. It's not like heavy compared to like a flagship phone. There is some bass, so I won't completely say this phone has absolutely zero bass. Yeah, let's continue listening. Yeah, audio quality is about what I expected. It's not great. It's actually a little below average, but there is a tiny bit of bass. So if you want to watch like movies, I mean, you're not expecting a great experience anyway in terms of audio from your phone, but you might even be a tiny bit disappointed if you're listening to something bass heavy, explosion-y like Michael Bay or Fast and Furious. I mean, that might be a problem because basically every explosion is just gonna be... Max volume is super loud though. Let me just double check, because I know that MediaTek has a bad habit of enabling like like sound boost mode, which makes the sound super loud, but also very, very, yeah, there we go, best loudness. When this is enabled, the sound quality goes down, but the volume goes up. You turn this off, and the max volume actually is not as loud, but then it doesn't go above the sound clipping. So there you go. So make sure you disable that if you do get this phone. Okay, let's move on to the actual software. And yeah, so as I said before, here we have basically stock Android. And as you can see, there's no bloatware. You basically have your Google apps, and then you have your update app here, and that's basically it. I actually like that a lot, where there's no bloatware compared to Xiaomi. Yeah, a lot of bloatware there, or not a lot, but there's duplicated apps. You know, you have 2 calendars, right? Here you only have 1. You have 2 contacts, you have 2 emails and stuff like that. Whereas this is just 1, and I like that quite a bit. Smoothness is basically as smooth as my flagship phone. I have no complaints about that there. So very happy with the smoothness so far. I will say that there is one thing that I don't know what's going on, but I've been downloading Asphalt Extreme for like the past 40 minutes. Most of the time, it takes my phones about 10 minutes to download, not 40. So I don't know if it's a problem with the Wi-Fi, a problem with Google Play, but I will continue to test it out and see what we have. You know what? Let's do a quick speed test right now. A speed test and see what it's like. Yep, and yeah, that's not very fast. I can usually get like 200-300 megabits on any of my phones, and I'm capable of 1,000 megabits on my internet right now. So yeah, I don't know what's going on. We'll see if it's just a glitch or if it's a persistent problem on the X30. Oh, excuse me. Okay, before I end the video, I want to talk about one more thing. And that's going to be, this thing supports NFC and Google Pay, and I'm going to test it out and make sure it works. And the other really interesting thing here is the network connectivity. I can't even zoom in here, but you notice that GSM is pretty average, WCDMA, but look at the FDD LTE bands. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 12, 13, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25. Wow, that's a lot. And just to prove that it's real is, look at this. I currently put a Vodafone SIM in my Cubot, and it's currently roaming on Rogers. And I'm gonna turn on my Xiaomi, which is also on Rogers, and look at the difference in the network. So on the left, you can see that I basically have 1 to 0 bars of connectivity in the basement. And then if you look at the Cubot, it's like 3 to 4 bars on here. So it looks like there's like the bands here, it's actually real. And the reception on this, okay, apart from the Wi-Fi, which I think is still downloading, yeah, 3 minutes left. The Wi-Fi is actually, or sorry, not the Wi-Fi, the connectivity, the network is actually decent. So yeah, that's actually pretty exciting. Yeah, so you know what? I think that's going to be it for the unboxing and a quick overview of the Cubot X30. I'm going to have a full review of this phone coming up very soon. In the meantime, you can check this phone in the link down below. It goes for around 150 bucks, which is a very, very cheap price. So if you do want to check it out, link down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.